Hi friends, host Eric here, host Talking with Famous People, and I'm going to in this video talk about the incident with the police last night that I've basically been thinking about ever since. Um, I mean, it's, am I just super lucky? It's like, how could that be that the way that whole thing played out, where I'm the only one in this whole fucking crowd of people that gets assaulted by a cop? How could that be? It's obviously there are magical forces at play. How could it be that, like, one day I'm walking, I'm eating dinner someplace, and I see some smoke, and what do I end up getting? But that crazy minute of footage of the flame, the fucking power lines falling, the lady running into the flames, that whole that whole video. And then later on, I get this thing happen. I mean, you're very lucky in general to capture one such breaking news event as it breaks on camera ever in a lifetime. One, maybe if you're lucky. I got two, and both of them were actually newsworthy. So it's like, most of the time there's a police action or a fire or whatever, it's pretty fucking boring. Nothing really goes down. So, but the fire I happen to go to, the power lines come crashing down. This crazy Chinese lady tries to like walk directly at the firemen in the fire, like she's just gonna like sort of just kind of scooch between them and the fire, so she does not have to walk around. And a fucking big wall of flame erupts right as she's going there, and she has to turn around. I'm screaming, "Lady, what are you doing?" And I mean, it was like you couldn't have had more action in 1 minute if you had scripted it and had the set all set up to do all that shit. That's as much as you could be able to squeeze in. Why would I get so lucky to get such cool video? And then last night, I didn't want to go down there in the first place. Cam wanted to go see what the helicopter was looking at. So we went down to see because she gets excited about things like that. And I mean, I do too. I just figured, well, they're looking for somebody's loose or whatever. But no, when we went down there, it wasn't somebody who was loose and they were looking for him. It was that thing that was on the video. And so, again, I tried to leave partway through it. I was just like, Kim, can we go? Nothing's going to happen. They're just going to, eventually the guy's going to give up. And it's like, no, I have to wait and see what happens. It's like, fine. I was there just long enough before the shit went down that I had a good 15 or 20 or 30 minutes to charge Kim's phone. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to film anything. And as soon as I bring the phone out from charging, start filming, that's when the action happens. And out of the whole crowd of people there, the only person who gets assaulted is me by the cops. Now, granted, I was the one yelling things at them. So, I mean, I guess that probably, it wasn't just me, it was that other guy too next to me, and I'm sure there were some other people probably too, but, boy, they don't like me. Like, that cop never met me in my life or anything. Everything I was saying was true and just and right. But you could see it in his face. He hated me. Jesus, he hates me. I mean, he doesn't even know. I mean, just from hearing me tell them to stop tasing the guy, he hates me. Anyway, regardless, I think they can just like smell it on me that they don't like me. So, I want to talk now about sort of the legal implications of the whole thing. My strategy going forward and stuff. So, the dude who got tortured and tortured. Tickle torture time, taser torture time. Yeah, we hear you wailing in agony. That wailing is not following our instructions, so more tasing for you. Regardless, the cops are never going to be held accountable for that in a million fucking years. They could have tased him for another 15 minutes and still would never be held accountable for it. So, why am I so giddy? Well, Jesus, Eric, if they're never going to be held accountable for that, they're surely not going to be held accountable for what they did to you. The fuck they aren't. Because here's the thing. This situation is absolutely perfectly tailored for sticking it to them. And this is why. So, I'm very happy that the cop did not injure me or hurt me really at all. And that I said that right away, you know, and I wasn't trying to hide it. And the reason I'm very happy about it is because it narrows the legal issue. I don't want the courts. What I want to do with this, okay, first let me just say there's 3 prongs of attack, 4 sort of, but 3 really, that you could take. Number 1 is sue the city. That's where you're going to get money. If you want to try to get, if your goal is money, you'd sue the city. You might not get anything, but you'd try. The other option is to sue the individual police officer. Okay, that's another civil solution. And the problem with that, of course, is police officers have qualified immunity. So in the American legal system, there are 2 kinds of laws. There are laws, and then there's case law. Case law is vastly more important than actual law, because case law is what the law actually is. So a law might say everybody must wear a red hat, but if the judges interpret everybody to mean nobody, and red to mean black, and hat to mean fucking anything, then it doesn't matter, because, you know, the law is what the judges say it is, not what the Congress says it is. So the reason I bring this up is because way back after the Civil War, and the Civil War's, I think it was called Civil Rights Reconstruction Act, maybe, or something. I don't know. Anyway, in Section 1984, or Section 1984, I think it is, of that legislation, is the law that expressly provides for every U.S. citizen the right to sue any government employee or official who, in the capacity of doing their jobs, violates your civil rights. Okay? Anyone. It's not just government officials. You can sue private citizens for violating your civil rights too. But the law just says basically anybody. You can sue anybody who violates your civil rights and, you know, attain justice via the civil courts, which means compensatory damages kind of thing, not jail time for anybody. Okay? So the judges and courts didn't like that rule, but they like to fine for everybody but them. So the judges interpreted that law to mean everybody but them. They got absolute immunity. Later they said, and prosecutors get absolute immunity too. You guys are starting to sue cops? Oh, they get immunity too. But we can't give them absolute immunity because, all right, give them qualified immunity. What is qualified immunity? Well, they're basically immune unless you meet these stipulations. Okay. So what are those stipulations? Well, it's turned out, as the court has attempted to take ever more power onto the state and constrain the state ever less, they've resorted to some weird techniques. So the way they say now that to be something that can be considered a violation of your civil rights that you can sue a cop for, the way that he violates your civil rights has to be so well established in case law that the cops cannot make any reasonable argument that they didn't know the law was interpreted that way. And there's literally, or maybe not quite literally, I don't know, there's probably, I would say, well, there's only one right they can violate your rights in 2 different ways, okay, to be subject to losing their qualified immunity. The first one is what I just said, like if it's a single right that that is very well established by the courts that there's no way the cop could say, well, I didn't know for sure if that was a civil rights violation. There's only one right that meets that qualification, and it's filming the cops. It's the only one. The Supreme, it's like the only thing the Supreme Court has sided with the people against government authority on. And they've sided with it consistently, and they've made it abundantly clear on the filming question. There's been enough time passed that every police department in the country has the opportunity to have trained their cops in that, okay? And so if they try to make the argument that they didn't know or that, they weren't sure, then at that point, since they've had plenty of opportunity to remedy that and the courts have instructed them to do so, it opens up the city and potentially the county. I don't know if they get funds for the county or not, but it opens up bigger government bodies to more liability because somebody's supposed to be overseeing that shit. The courts said, it's like, well, why aren't you following the court's orders? Is this whole city in contempt of court? So, if they try to argue that, then they're not going to want to argue that because that's going to set the city up for a big lawsuit. On the other hand, now granted, I don't think I'd get a lot of money if I sued because if all things, forgetting something that's going to come up later, let's just pretend that wasn't a consideration, then I wouldn't get very much money because I'm not very damaged, right? But here's the thing. Because the courts have narrowed this thing down to the bullseye you have to hit is this teeny. They not only have narrowed it down that much, but if you hit this bullseye that's this teeny, but you also hit some bullseyes around there, then what they do is they shift ground so they don't answer the substantive constitutional question. That's how they avoid answering real questions. They go, well, we know this is a really interesting question on the qualified immunity point, but we don't have to address this on that point because there's this other thing over here that makes that question, that question comes after this question, and this question's been answered, so we don't need to answer that question. They do that a lot, like most of the time. And so if you wanted to get a case to force the court's hands to set precedent, you have to hit exactly the tiny bullseye and nothing else. So the precedent I want to set is specifically that regular citizens can sue individual police officers and they have no qualified immunity to protect them from this lawsuit anytime the officer silences the citizen. In other words, explicitly and directly violates the First Amendment rights of a person for that reason. The thing is, the video makes it pretty clear that the reason he picked me and the reason he came over to me and assaulted me was specifically to silence me. He didn't like what I was saying. He didn't like me speaking truth to power, and he didn't like how it made them look. Because when I'm out there screaming, you have no reason to be doing this, you're arbitrarily hurting them, and you should stop, or equivalents, not exactly what I said, but the point is, they have a guilty conscience. So they want me to shut, shh, don't tell them what we're doing. So they want to come over and shut me up. The perfect thing is, there is absolutely no other explanation for it. I'm plenty far back from them. I'm not too close to him. He tells me to back off, get out of here. Even though I'm clearly posing no threat, I'm standing there filming, which is fortunate. If I was just yelling and not filming, well, it wouldn't hit square enough in that bullseye. But the filming thing, they've ruled decisively on. So he violated my First Amendment rights, and I was not guilty or involved in any sort of activity with the cops at all. I was just a bystander, right? So basically, if they can accuse you of any kind of crime, they will. Like, if they had known I was going to come back at them today, which I'm going to go down to the city hall after this video, and then I probably will go to the police station, but I'm a little bit nervous about that, actually, frankly. I think I'll just go in there and say I need to file a formal complaint against one of your officers. I don't know his name. Here's the video link, or go to talking to the video. You can see him and his face clearly in the video, and I obviously can't identify him because I don't know what you cops look like. But that's when I'd like to file a complaint against. And if you want to tell me something like, well, that's not good enough, we can't take that complaint or something, that's fine. Whatever answer you want to give me here is fine, because I'm just going to notate it all, and it'll all come out in the wash regardless. So would you like to help me file this complaint or not? I'm not going to give you any trouble if you don't want it. I'm not going to not going to get upset or anything. I'm just going to, I'm going to approach it like that because I'm a little bit scared, I guess. I mean, these people are obviously not subject to qualms of conscience. I don't know. But regardless, so what I plan to do is go to the city hall. I'm going to say, here's the situation. I'm going to lay out for him everything that I've laid out for you. I'm going to say, I'm going to try to pursue this three-pronged attack. I'm going to try to press criminal charges, which means filing a complaint and saying, I was thinking last night I was going to go in there and go, officers, I need to report a crime. A crime was committed against me last night. A man with looked like a shotgun of some sort. I mean, I'm no expert on guns, but he ran up and butted me in the rib cage with his gun butt. Assaulted me. Have them go, oh, well, Jesus, where was it? Oh. And then only very later revealed that it was a cop that did it, But I'm not going to do that because it would make a great video, but I'm going to be really careful about this whole thing. I'm going to try to record every conversation I have. I'm going to tell them I'm going to record it, and I'm going to just play it really low key, like, hey, just to let you know, I am going to record this voice record. I'm not going to try to film you. I have no problem with you. I'm not trying to cause problems here, but I do need a record of the conversation for my own records, and I just felt the need to inform you. I just feel it's only polite to inform you that I'm recording rather than secretly record you. So I am going to be voice recording this, okay? I'm going to approach it like that. If they tell me no voice recording, well, I'll already have it on, so I'll get that on tape. And then I'll ask a question like, are you ordering me to turn it off? Is that a lawful order? Because if it is, I'll turn it off. Or even if it's an unlawful order, you got the gun. If you're ordering me to turn it off, I'll turn it off. Are you ordering me? And I'll get that answer before I turn it off. People hate it when you write down what they say or make it clear that you're keeping track of everything they say, because 99% of people don't do what I do, which is always keep track of what I say all the time. So I never contradict myself. I'm not Jesus. I sometimes do. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. So, anyway, there's the criminal case I'm going to try to get launched. Of course, that's not going to go anywhere. The prosecutor's not going to prosecute. The cops aren't going to do anything. Yada, yada, yada. That's fine, because I will play those cards in the civil suits. Note, jury, judge, whomever, that if a citizen in this country is expected to have any remedy for any violation of any rights, then this is the only way to do it. I have clear-cut evidence of an indisputable crime being committed against me by one of these police officers, a physical assault that was designed and successful in silencing my criticism of the police that night, silencing my yelling things like, stop tasing him, there's no reason to do that, you can arrest him without any further harm to be doing to him, I will make all that very clear, and you pin them down. You don't give the courts love to shift you off to make you somebody else's problem, one way or another, or to make your problem not have any impact on the ecosystem as a whole. They don't want to set precedent, but they have to if they have no outs. And in this case, they basically have no outs. There's no way a judge can avoid stripping that qualified immunity in this case, especially if I get no responsiveness on the criminal end. If the city tries to stonewall me, Which, see, this is the thing. It's a very Obi-Wan situation. If Darth Vader kills me, I get stronger. If this other guy kills me, I get even way stronger. Then I'm dead twice, but now I'm Super Saiyan, you know? Because the one thing I really want is the one thing that nobody but the guy himself really cares about. I want his check from his bank account with his name signed on it. So that we both know that I won. I don't want to take taxpayers' money anyway. It's not cool. But I would. You know, if the city offers me like 10 grand or something, I'd be like, okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'll sign it. Yeah, nope, he didn't do anything wrong. Sure. For 10 grand, fine. I'm a principled guy. If I were rolling right now, I would turn it down. When I got fired from my last job and slandered with false accusations of bringing ill repute upon the company, I spat on her $5,000 severance offer because it came with a confidentiality rider. And I just like, fuck that noise. You mean keep my mouth shut about your malfeasance? No. Keep your $5,000 and shove it up your fucking cunt, bitch. However, the city offers me 10 grand today or something like that. They're not going to, but if they were to, well, I'm kind of broke right now. I just take it. I need the money. Sorry. It's not the most idealistic thing I could do, but it would attain some justice, and it would make me have more money, which is better than having less money. So don't worry. I'll spend it all on drugs. Just kidding. Listen, Pomona PD, if you're thinking I'm on drugs or something, well, I'm not. I do smoke marijuana, but that's legal nowadays. And to be perfectly honest, it's not really much of an intoxicant. It certainly doesn't impair my abilities at all. I used to be an alcoholic. I don't drink at all anymore. It's fun thinking, you know what? I bet within a couple of days there's going to be at least a few people from these offices checking out, talking with fans people. And going, hey, that Eric guy's really cool. I really like him in his middle fingery ways. He seems to be really affectionate towards us law enforcement officers. Anywho, pissing off caps, pissing off cops, pissing them off in Pratt, pissing them off in Pomona too, yeah. Well, I've done that. Pissing them off in Oklahoma when they arrested me. And pissing them off the next day when I sang so spitefully. I do not go inviting this shit upon myself. I'm not looking for this. You know, it's like I didn't go there looking to get into any kind of confrontation. I'm actually proud of myself, though, because I say that fairly often to myself or sometimes to other people, like, oh, I'm really proud of myself with this song. I'm happy with the way it came out. That's not the right word. In those instances, I'm pleased with the song. I'm happy. I feel good that I made it and stuff. I actually feel proud of myself right now because there's a gang of armed men, and they're tasing the fuck out of some guy, and he's wailing in agony, and there's a huge mob of people surrounding him. Make no mistake about it. You want to be the guy who's screaming at them to stop. And you just don't really know if you would until the opportunity presents itself. You don't choose to do it, you know. It's just you get lucky and your emotions took you there or whatever, but that's it.